I don't know if you're aware of this, but you beat Reynold Quinlan on your 25th fight for the IBO World Championship. And in your dad's 25th fight, he beat Nigel Benn for the World Championship. Was that something you were aware of? Was that fate? Was it chance? Was it by plan?
You know, these things, I believe in boxing, in life, everything happens for a reason. You know, me and my father actually both had 26 amateur fights as well, same. It wasn't planned, it wasn't like, okay, I'm going to stop at 26. It's just how it happened. And the same with the world title. It's not, you can't plan anything like that, you know. Everything happens for a reason. And, you know, he achieved great things in his career, and I'm looking to do exactly the same.
Your next fight, July the 15th, Arthur Abraham. A lot of people think that's a big step up for you. How do you see Abraham as an opponent?
He is solid, strong, doesn't give up. He broken jaw in one of his fights, and he continued fighting for the entire fight with a broken jaw. So this is a man that doesn't, he's not going to come in there and lie down. He's going to try and take everything away from me. Very come forward fighter, but he's very one-dimensional in my opinion. He only knows how to fight one way, and that's to come forward and attack, big hooks, power punching. Not a good defense, not particularly fast. And that's where I'm going to exploit his weaknesses, the weaknesses in his defense, the weaknesses in his speed, in the amount of punches he throws. It is definitely a step up, but it's definitely a fight that I'm capable of winning, and that I will do so.
I was going to ask you about your game plan, but you've sort of told me that now. What about a prediction?
He's never been stopped before in his entire career, so that's the challenge, that's the goal, that's what I'm aiming to do, to go in there and to stop this unstoppable guy. So if I had to make a prediction, it would be that I knock him out or stop him within the 12-round period, because that's the mindset I'm going into this fight with. I want to stop him.
Assuming all goes well, there's a number of fighters in the divisions that you can perform at around. Who would be your favoured choices going forward?
I want anybody with a world title, anybody in the division, in the super middleweight division or the middleweight division that has a world title or that is, you know, highly ranked, a big name. James DeGale, George Groves, big domestic fights that the public want to see. These are the fights that I'm gunning for at the moment. And it seems that neither one of them wants to fight me. I wouldn't want to fight me either. But they're world champions, they've got the belts. They have a responsibility to themselves and to the public to fight the best. And after beating Arthur Abraham, I believe that puts me in a position to fight to legitimately challenge for these belts. You can't argue with me beating such a highly ranked fighter. So yeah.
There was one name missing from that list, and that was unfortunately for you, the person who beat you, Billy Joe Saunders. How did that fight affect you? Did you learn something from that fight, and would he be in your plans?
He's always going to be in my plans. Until the day I get my revenge, he's going to be in my plans. He's at middleweight at the moment. And again, he's running. He doesn't want the fight. We've tried many times to get the fight made, and it just hasn't happened. I think he's fought once in the last year and a half. I don't know how he's still got his world title, to be honest. But yeah, that's a fight that has to be made. And it's definitely, I definitely learned a lot from the defeat. You know, I don't believe that he beat me on the night. I don't believe he's the better fighter. but he got the decision, and that taught me. It taught me to be more aggressive. It taught me to be more dedicated. I learned from that fight that I was able to go the full 12 rounds, no problem. And that was my first 12-round fight. I'd only ever gone 8 rounds previously. So that was a factor in me pacing myself too much early on in the fight, which is what cost me those early rounds. But once I got to the 5th round, I realized I can do this. This is, he hasn't hurt me. He's not hurting me. He's not stronger than me. He's not faster than me. And as soon as I realized this, that was it. I put it on him, and I beat him up and down the ring for the rest of the fight. So yeah, I learned that I am the real deal, that I can do this. I can go the 12 rounds at a very high level. So yeah, we've just got to wait until he grows a pair and decides to get back in the ring with me for the rematch that the country wants to see.
Just before we close, you talked about some of the big names in the domestic clashes. Of course, there's a few names out there on the international scene. Would they be in your plans going forward?
Most definitely. You've obviously got the big fight coming up with Canelo and Golovkin. Me and Golovkin obviously have some history. We were set to fight at one stage, and the fight ended up being given to Kell Brook instead of me. At the time, it was very disappointing, but again, I believe everything happens for a reason, and I'm most definitely looking to fight the winner or the loser of that fight. Canelo, great fighter, and I believe he can beat Triple G if he has the right mindset. If he goes in there believing, knowing that he can win, then he will win. But if he goes in there worrying about his power, then he'll lose. He gave up his world title, so he didn't have to fight him at one stage, which tells me that he's worried about Golovkin. If he has that worry going into the fight, then he'll lose. But yeah, both fighters at some point I hope to share the ring with, 100%.
And just before we close this interview, so you're fighting at the 15th of July, and just tell us a little bit about that.
July 15th, Arthur Abraham, defending my IBO super middleweight world title. Wembley Arena, live on ITV box office. It's going to be a huge, huge fight. There's a great undercard. A lot of great fighters are going to be, fighting before me, and styles make fights, and I believe that, my style against Arthur Abraham's is going to make for an epic war of attrition, and it's going to come down to who wants it most, and I believe I'm that man.
Chris, thank you so much.
Thank you.